Day number 2 in the books from the rookie face-off. We're going from the beach to the rink. Rudo, E, and I are breaking it all down for you because it just wrapped up between the Avs and the Kraken. The DNVR Avs pod starts
right now.
Let's do it now. Yes, we're going live. What's up, everybody? I told you we were doing it live, and we're doing it live. We should have maybe just headed back to the beach, or with the way that game was played, we probably could have just stayed at the beach. Listen, it's just a rookie face-off, so we don't take it too seriously. I did remove shoelaces and belts from Rudo, however, and I checked on him during the game. He's okay. You're in a safe place now, buddy. We're going to be all right. It's a 5.
Locked me onto this set. I can't get out of here.
5-1 defeat at the hands of the Seattle Kraken. We're going to talk about the game. We've got a ton of exclusive interviews for you as well coming up in this broadcast and throughout the week. Our main man, Eric, here was working the floor, and of course, turns out we have a few friends in this building, eh?
It's the house that I built.
It's the house that you built.
Just kidding.
We got some fun stuff coming up for you, but let's talk about the game.
Before that,
yeah, okay.
I'm looking at Rudo right now.
All right.
I'm noticing maybe a sunburn.
We were out on the beach.
I'm just saying.
He went onto the sand. He went out and actually spent time on the sand.
Tiff,
it was a beautiful day.
As motherly as you are, you did not make him wear sunscreen. Look at him. He's got a little bit of a sunburn.
I didn't wear my own sunscreen.
All right.
Yeah.
This level of Irish white burns in 45 seconds. All right. It's
I apologize for cutting you off.
Sorry. It
was just reflecting, and I can't see when I'm looking over the sunburn's getting.
It was beautiful. You got to reminisce. If you didn't see that on Twitter, check that out. Rudo and he talked about their reminiscing of his beach volleyball days, which was fun.
Quick like a cat.
Yeah, Manhattan Beach is absolutely awesome. It's such a cool place. Like, you go down there and you just feel like refreshed by the water. The waves are crashing, the breeze is blowing. You got the sea air. It's a cool place. I lived in California for a long time. I missed the beach, but it was nice to go down there today. It was nice to kind of catch up with some friends and just check it out. Did you guys like the morning? I mean,
it's great. I could see myself just looking at the sand and quick feet that I had back then, quick like a cat. And I was telling Rudo, probably should have made Team Canada at volleyball. And now I woke up and all of a sudden it was like an elephant walking on the sand. I'm not quick anymore. But it was fun. It was fun. It was fun to just to be there. You know what I mean? Like, how can you not be happy? It's great. Everybody's running around and fun. And it was, as we can see, Rudo, it was sunny. It was fun. And, it's exciting to be back.
Well, look, when hockey ceases to exist, you have a future as a tour guide.
Yes,
in LA.
Thank you.
Walking down the street going, oh, that's Shaq's house.
Yeah.
Oh, there's my old apartment. Like, this is where me and Blake lived together.
It was great. It's good to be back.
Coming soon to LA, the Eric Lacroix Celebrity Sports Tours.
Kardashians, what? Way more important.
That's good. That's good. What wasn't great was the hockey game. And listen, at these tournaments, here's the problem. So much of hockey is familiarity with the systems and the guys you're playing with and just blah, blah, blah. There's a million other things in there. When you don't have that and you're jostling lines and switching rosters and guys are in and guys are out, yeah, that happens through a regular NHL season, but not in short order, not when you're not used to most of the guys, period, in general. So it's a tall task to put together a good group. Schneeks has done a good job, by the way. I love talking to him. We'll have him later on in the show also. But let's start here. Let's go overall impressions of the game. Rudo, I'll start with you. What was your general sense and takeaway from this that was different than yesterday, which had a lot of a comeback and a bit more oomph to it?
Yeah, look. At a certain level, this is two teams on two bit of different talent levels.
Yes.
And this is not a knock against the Avs. Max Coran was their 1C today. Mm-hmm. Again, we talked about it yesterday. He's an 18-year-old kid, just got drafted this last season. Compare that to Seattle's top line. They have Jagger Ferguson there, 20 years old, just put up 130 points in the OHL or the WHL. It's not a fair fight in some ways. The Seattle team has 3, 4, 5, 6 guys trying to make the NHL roster this year.
Right.
And the Avs took out Cal Ritchie. They took out Oscar Olausson. They took out Sean Behrens, a lot of those top guys. So there was just a little bit of a mismatch today. But I do still think a game like this can show you some things. We already talked about Jason Poland, so we don't have to get too far into him again today. But he was one of those guys where, all right, this game is 4-0. Where are these prospects at? Where's their heads at? Are they still engaged in the game? Are they still doing the right things? And Poland was. Yes, he ended up scoring the goal, but more importantly, he was being physical. He was laying down hits. He was engaged in the hockey game all the way through, even if it was a blowout against the Avs.
Passed the test. He passed the test again. That's what he does. That's what he's here for. You're supposed to be a leader in a squad like this. You had a full season in the American League. You've had outstanding collegiate seasons, you know, being a leader, in those seasons in college. So he did what he had to do again today. He just can't do it. Again, it's not a knock on everybody else. Tiff, what's my expression? When you're taking a little bit of everything out of the fridge, it becomes what? A
ham sandwich?
That's right. Rudo gets 5 points.
Ham sandwich.
No, you know me. I would say it's a ham sandwich.
I thought it was hodgepodge.
I call that a ham sandwich. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not, and it's nobody's fault.
You take specifically ham and bread out of the fridge.
Yeah, well,
make a ham sandwich.
I call that a ham sandwich.
I'm going to make this ham sandwich with a little of that pizza, maybe that enchilada, and some of those eggs.
It's a ham
that
sandwich.
Sounds delicious.
But you got guys,
sandwich,
you know what I mean? And it's no offense. It's let's try out hockey, right? And youth hockey. It's just, little Billy, little Joey, and everybody's a little bit all over the place. Everybody's working hard. They all worked hard. That was not a lack of effort. It's just not a fair fight, like you said, because all of a sudden they had a little more experience, a little more flair on the other side, and then you have the game, and you feel bad for Jake Barzewski, because he was kind of hung out to dry a little bit, right? Not a lot of experience on the back end. Yep. Again, what a great experience for anyone that was wearing the jersey today for the Avalanche. It's a great experience, and I saw some family members, some parents, and it's an unbelievable feeling to see your kid, your nephew, or whatever it is performing out there. And yeah, it's not the National Hockey League, but it's still a National Hockey League logo. So very important not to be negative, and that's why we talked about it last week. Most games are not important. When I say the games, the score of the game is not important. It's how you fare, how you battle, how you fight through, how you compare yourself. We talked about it yesterday. You said, hey, what'd you take out of this? Or was it this morning at the beach? We said, yesterday you got your feet was all excited. It's new. You're back on. Tomorrow is back to reality, which is today, which is what? The toughest thing to do as a player in the National Hockey League is to attain consistency. It's hard to do. It is not an easy task. And today was more like, okay, it's a long year ahead. It's not the first day like yesterday. This is a regular day, and these are the days you have to fight. Some nights your lineup won't be adequate compared to what happens a lot in the American League, right? When you've got the Friday, Saturday, Sunday game, which is not human. It shouldn't exist. But all of a sudden, this is what the gruesome days of a National Hockey League schedule, American Hockey League schedule. And what I liked, just to get to Poland again, he's learning to be a pro. I know he's 25 years old, but last year he got injured, so he got around 50 games. I would have liked to see him play those 65, 70 games, whatever it is, the number of the American League, obviously because he got called up and missed a couple, but it'll be interesting to see what this guy can do because it was sure enough fun to watch him today.
Well, yeah, so there's some high points here, but you talked about Max taking that center position. Number 90 had an assist today, and it was on a Jason Poland goal. Jason Poland also hit the crossbar. He had a couple of other really good looks. He was again, and yesterday I filled in for AJ and tried my first crack at studs and duds, and I'll have a very abbreviated one today because, let's be honest, I'm just not that guy. But Jason Poland, spoiler alert, is at the top of my list again for a stud. I just think he looked great again. He was my number one star again, I would say too.
Without doubt, the best player on the ice for Colorado in this game. It wasn't even all that close. The guy's going to play NHL games this year, and he might be the only guy in the lineup today that plays NHL games this year.
And without being negative, like I said, and I'm a big believer, and sometimes the intentions are there, but they don't necessarily translate into the production. And when I say production, I'm not talking about goals and assists. I'm talking about the daily, every shift habits of what makes you a National Hockey League player. I liked Poland, like I said to you, but I can't give him a cookie. I can't because it's supposed to be good. Right. So he did his job.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
When
I say that, I'm not talking about. I'm saying is I would have liked to be able to talk a little bit more about a few more guys. I wish I would be able to.
Give you a little bit more.
Okay.
I don't think it's. With Poland, you're talking about some upside that you see there.
Yeah.
But I think when you look at two other specific guys in this game, in Andre Pavel and Ivan, Ivan, I don't know. Those are two guys that have really high floors. I don't know how high the ceilings are, but you see it in games like this where, okay, even when the Avs are down, these are the guys that are working. These are the guys that are doing the little details. Like you say, they're not cheating the game. They're doing what they're supposed to be doing. And, is there enough skill there for them to make the leap? Remains to be seen.
Yep.
But you get a little bit of consistency at that baseline level, even if there is at times a lack of skill from guys like Ivan and Pavel.
Oh, I'm talking about. I love those guys too. I do. I'm looking, and I don't want to name
We talked to
names.
them, by the way, after the game. So we'll hear from Ivan, and we'll hear from Pavel, and we'll also hear from Sheiks too. We'll get to that in a few. But yeah, keep going.
What I was trying to say is a couple names. I don't want to name names. It's not fair. You know what I mean? But I know if I'm putting myself in their shoes, I'm going to go to my room tonight, and I'm going to call my wife, my girlfriend, my agent, my parents, whatever it is that I talk to, the person, a friend, and I'll be like, God, I wish I would have done more. You know what I mean? And I hate that feeling because I always say when you take your gear off, you go in the shower, and you're going like this, you got to be honest with yourself. Did I leave it all out there? And if you didn't, it's an opportunity missed.
Yep.
And then whether it's for a contract, whether it's for a position in a certain team like the American Hockey League team or the National Hockey League team, what did I do? Did I just do everything I need to build those echelons and walk those steps towards that? And when the answer is no, it's a tough sleep. I don't care if it's the second day of rookie camp.
And there's one more point that I want to touch on here that isn't necessarily related to anyone on the team, but we talked a lot over the past 2 days about how the score doesn't really matter. We're not all that worried about the points getting scored.
Yep.
But that's not entirely true. Eric, do you remember who scored the last goal of the rookie faceoff last year?
Man, you're putting me on the spot.
This is intentional, by the way.
Exactly.
The answer is no.
Sage Weinstein.
Yikes. All right.
In overtime.
That's right. I remember
that game. And you know what happened a week later?
Yeah.
The Avs signed him.
Yep.
So for some of these guys, a game where you aren't able to produce it at all, if you're not named Jason Poland or Max Curran, you probably could have done a little bit more in a game like that.
What I did like about Pavel, and he talks about it when we spoke to him after the game today, he's really honing himself in on trying to be a good centerman in terms of winning faceoffs. Yep. And I thought he was tough in the circle today in that regard.
You can drop the in the circle part. I think that kid's just tough in general. But yes, the Avs very publicly have been bad at faceoffs for my entire adult life, probably. It's been a long time where they have not been a good team in the faceoff dot. So.
I see a little yeller in him. I went down to the ice level with Giz there by the glass there. I love doing that, by the way. Shows you all.
In the corner, you can see it, you can feel it. I like watching games from there, too. That's where we always used to watch Max play and all the boys.
And then you get guys right away that turn around and they see a shift from a guy like Andres Pavel and say, who's that? You know what I mean? Like, who's that? Because they know that you're, somewhere affiliated with the team in the sense that we cover the Avalanche. And he's an intriguing guy. He is. And I think he's smart, like where he's going to find a way, like you said. We talked about that last summer. Hey, if I'm one of those young kids, I don't care. I hire every freaking face-off coach. I go see lacrosse guys about face-offs. Like, I don't know. I'm taking any advantage I can do. Because if you can win a face-off, you can get a puck out, you can kill a penalty, and then you're not afraid of a biscuit.
Yeah.
You can play in the National Hockey League. You know what? You can. And that's where guys like that, I think, will figure it out. And I still like the signing from, whatever it was, 14, 16 months ago. And he's going to find a way to do it.
You know what Pavel reminds me of?
What's that?
He reminds me of Rugged Road.
Yeah, tough, built tough.
Right?
I'm with it.
I mean, I've never seen him in the water, but I mean, Rugged Road has that floatability.
I hope he can float.
Right? That's one of the most unique features of Rugged Road coolers is their ability to always float upright. But these are designed with the highest quality materials and craftsmanship, ensuring that they perform in the toughest conditions, just like Pavel. Whether you're on the land or water, Rugged Road gear is built to accompany you on every adventure. Of course, it's floatable, but that also means it's lightweight, and that design is so key. It's not like other heavy-duty coolers. It is incredibly light, and it makes them easy to transport for any trip without compromising any performance. And if you're going to be tossing it in a river and bouncing it over rocks and whatnot, it's got to be durable, and it's got to be dependable, and it's crafted to handle those tough environments. The coolers are built to last, and they ensure that they can keep you in the mix in any possible adventure. Guaranteed to keep their contents cool for up to 7 days, but oftentimes it lasts even longer than that. Get ready for your summer adventures with Rugged Road coolers. Head to ruggedroadoutdoors.com and use code DNVR for 10% off your order. Lightweight, durable, and always floating upright, perfect on land or in water. So leave that old heavy cooler at home and get yourself a better cooler for the new season. Rugged Road, your ultimate outdoor companion.
Also great for tailgates. Which,
Ooh.
by the way, there is a football game going on.
There
right
is
now.
today?
There is today. Who would have thought?
Saturday?
Coach Prime's currently got the Buffs up 14-3.
Ooh.
He can also get you up 14-3 when it comes to your health with the Ready, Set, Co program. All he wants to do is help you be the healthiest version of yourself as Chief Motivational Officer at UC Health's Ready, Set, Co Challenge, which the entire goal is to get Colorado back to the healthiest state in the country. I'm going to need a program after this trip, all right?
Okay.
Eric's taking me to Uncle Bill's.
Yes.
He's out here taking me to,
Yeah.
what's the name of the place we went today?
Toast.
Toast. Thank you. Well, that was the second one. He also tried to take us to another place.
That was closed like
Bristol
8 years ago.
Farms.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a minute since he's been in
Been 8
LA.
years, yeah.
It's okay. I tried to gently tell you, but you didn't want to listen to me. It's all righty. It's okay. It's all right. It's all right.
Doing it for my friend Tiff.
I know.
He's packing on the pounds
yeah.
for me. He's packing pounds on me. I'm
Well,
gonna need
you
to
haven't
lose some
even
of this
been to
weight.
Ponchos. Wait till tomorrow night.
Okay, yeah, so that's what I'm saying. When
yeah.
we get back to Colorado, I need the Ready, Set, Co program to get a little bit healthier again. So make sure you join up. It's not just about your physical health, but it's about mental health as well, as Prime has you fully covered when it comes to living the best you can be. So if you want to join at UC Health's Ready, Set, Co Challenge today, you can click the link in the show description or go to www.uchealth.org/ready-set-co.
All right, so we talked a lot about Pavel, and I think what we should do, because I want to touch on Ivan a little bit more in detail as well. So what I think I'd like to do is let's hear from Pavel right now. We caught up with him just after the game, and he was very honest. And I think for me, something that impresses me about him is that honesty and that bluntness. He doesn't take himself too seriously, but he's also holding himself to a high standard. This is what he had to say following the game today.
All right, so it's your rookie tournament debut. You didn't get to participate, but got to watch last year. What were some things that you were hoping to showcase in this tournament?
Just returning as an older guy. It's just leading by example and showing the way for the younger guys, and just compete. This hockey is pretty hectic compared to the regular season. There's not a lot of thinking or a lot of tactics. It's just about effort. So just leading by example and just having the most effort on the ice, basically.
Played in an NHL game last year. What kind of, even though it was just a game, what kind of experience did you gather from that you've been able to sort of kind of transfer to last season and then coming into this summer?
I think mainly confidence. It was, if you would ask me before last year, if I would leave college for 2 games, I would say 100%. But then I ended up a little bit disappointed because I thought I could do better. But having that calmness when if that opportunity ever comes again, I think is the biggest plus because I've already been there, and I think I can showcase more next time.
Your work ethic has impressed Av staff so far. Can you tell me a little bit about what motivates you to stay so committed?
Lack of talent, maybe. I don't know. No, I mean, there's there's one way for me to get things done, and I've been participating like this in school and everywhere else. So I just want to make sure that if I'm doing something, I'm putting 100% into it, and then if that's enough, that's enough. But at the end of the day, I just want to leave here and make sure that I've done everything I could.
The center position is so interesting, especially right now for the Colorado Avalanche. What kind of a center are you? What do you feel your strength is in that position?
I think my biggest strength right now is just being a face-off guy that just whenever there's a tight situation in a game, I go out there and I have 100% confidence that I'm going to win it. I am pretty good on a penalty kill, and I can also fill in with just either secondary scoring, but I have the biggest room to improve, and then just being a solid defensive guy that when they put me out there, they just know that there's no chance I'm getting scored on.
What were some of the challenges against Seattle today, and how do you want to reflect on them moving forward?
Just like circling back to my first answer, I believe that, as I said, the older guys have to lead by example and show the younger guys how we play because, whenever we have that crest on our chest, like we're representing the Colorado Avalanche, whether we like it or not, and I believe that we didn't do that today. So, majority of the blame comes to us, to the older guys, and I believe that we need to take responsibility and make sure that I believe the next game is on Monday, that we do our job.
Day off tomorrow, you'll have a practice, a little time to breathe. You guys are going to have a team-building activity. As an older guy, as someone who's looked at as a leader, what's the message tomorrow?
I mean, first of all, as I said, it's most about effort, but we also have to have fun. This is an incredible experience for all of us. As you said, I didn't get to play last year, so it's about enjoying it and make sure that we are all reset for the game on Monday, and make sure we just do certain reparations for today.
And you got into town early and joined in the DU Pro Camp alongside players like Taves, Gerard, LOC. What do you take away when you get on the ice with pros like that?
Just mainly just watching them, how they work and how they perfect the craft is just unbelievable. And for me, the main motivator why I decided to go there is that I always want to practice with someone that's obviously better than me, and I have heard only good things about the DU Pro Camp, and I was lucky enough to get invited into it by OC, and that it just gave me so much just from playing against such a good guys that have been in the NHL for a long time, and they're really established over there.
Thanks, Pavs. Love the insight, love the honesty. And I think, the one thing that resonated with me, that he said in that too is that he goes, hey, that's on us, the leadership group or the older guys in the room, to make sure we're representing the crest on the front of our jersey, no matter the situation. And I love that. That's a veteran answer.
I know we got to move on pretty quick here, but 2 things to say about him. One, Eric's favorite saying about these guys, know who you are. Pavel absolutely does. 2, the Avs just brought in a guy on a PTO. You know who Andre Pavel should probably imitate every single day?
Yep.
Pierre-Edouard Bellemare.
Yep. And that's why I call him my yeller, right? Avalanche 1.0 guys, he's my yeller. You got to know what you are, what you bring to the table. Legendary Pat Burns said at my first camp, and it resonated with me. Do what you do best. Don't be a phony. This guy's not a phony. I think he does what he does best, which is what? Simplicity, effectiveness, and smartness.
Easy.
Ivan, 82, third line center today. I thought he looked good as well. We've talked about him a little bit. Just we're going to hear from him in 2 seconds here, but give me just, again, your overview. I know we kind of bounced around a little earlier, but your thoughts on him.
If comparing him to Pavel, they're both, again, high floor guys, like I said. Pavel gets a little bit more physical, has that defensive acumen to his game. Ivan, a little bit less of that, but I think he's a smarter hockey player. He reads the ice pretty well. He understands what's going on. Yes, I do think there's a pretty hard ceiling on his ability, which is going to limit him to, at best, probably a bottom 6 NHL player if he can get there. But look, a guy like that with a motor like he has, I don't ever want to write someone like that off.
We talked about it again. We'll say it again. Silver Spooner. Every opportunity. It's normal. As an organization, you put your stock into that kid. Of course, you're going to push for him. Ivan, never drafted. We all know he's gone somewhere else before. Was it Detroit, right? I think Alan talked about that. But all of a sudden he comes here, he opens his eyes. He takes advantage of an opportunity like this weekend is, which is what? Open eyes to people in the hockey world of what you are. Earns a contract, American League style, right? Then he earns an NHL contract. I do believe this guy's going to end up playing. Is it this year? I don't know. But he's going to play in the National Hockey League based on what? Attitude, drive. And what we say about Silver Spooners is all of a sudden, after a couple of years or whatever, it levels out. And they don't care anymore if you're a first rounder or an undrafted guy. Can you help me today? So the Avalanche found someone in Ivan, and now it's up to the kid, it's up to the coaches in the American League, and it's up to the organization to see where he fits in that puzzle. But they did find someone that will play for the Colorado Avalanche at some capacity.
He's also got really great hair, as exhibited in this interview. The flow was flowing post-game with I squared. Have a look.
All right, Ivan, I know it hasn't been the result you've wanted these last two games, but how have you felt about your individual performance so far?
I felt I was getting better with every period. So the start was, it's kind of hard to get back in the rhythm. I haven't played a game since like April. So the first period of the first game was kind of tough, get the lines going and stuff. So yeah, I think it was getting better. My skating was getting way better every period. So I think I finished strong this game. But it's still, a lot of details and still a lot of things to sharpen.
What was the prep you had to do between that last game and getting ready to kind of be back in the mix in this? Was it more the physical? Did you have to think about it mentally? Where did you kind of really fine-tune things?
I really had to, get some good stretch, get the hydration going, because, it's kind of hard to practice the game situations in the off-season. So, I had to start in the gym, get some bike and get some water. Yeah, get some good sleep, and mentally, just stay focused and get frustrated about some things not going my way. It's like first game after a long period, so yeah.
I talked to you after you signed your NHL contract last year, and you were really excited about this being a first step because you still have NHL ambition in the future. How has your confidence grown over this summer and what you'd like to do next year?
Yeah, I think I was really working, to get stronger. So. Yeah, some battles in the game kind of gave me confidence that I'm stronger. Some guys, falling off me, so that always makes me happy that I got stronger. So yeah, and the ambition is big. It's NHL. It's my dream. So yeah, I got to work hard to get there, and it's not gonna be easy.
These games are tricky. Obviously, not the result you want. It's not necessarily about wins and losses in a rookie face-off, but you guys are competitive. You're trying to win. What do you take away from a game like this today? Do you look more into it on the personal side and what you did well, or is it more of the overall?
Yeah, I think it's like those games are pretty hard. It's everybody has the new systems, and so it's kind of hard for new guys to get in and follow the system. So it's more about the individual side, about the compete, winning battles, and sharpen up the details. It kind of tells you what to do better. Everybody has a difference, so it helps you. And for me, it's probably good before the main camp to get some stuff sharpened and get ready.
Wearing a letter in this tournament, how do you approach leadership, especially helping out some of the other European players here?
Yeah, it's been good. I really appreciate it. So I was helping. We got Max from Czech. He's 18, so he was my roommate. So trying to help him, where to be, what stuff to dress, So kind of helping everybody, and in the locker room, just helping guys. If they have questions, they ask me, and so I'm there for them if they need something. So I tell them so they don't have to go to coaches.
Day off tomorrow. What are you guys doing? Any plans as a team? Anything individual? What's on the agenda?
We have a practice, and I think then we got some team builder, maybe a SoFi Stadium visit or something. Not sure yet.
Very cool.
Your skating has been really explosive. What have you done this offseason with that?
That's kind of question to my trainer, but in general, just getting the legs, to be explosive. So it's some jumps, the first 3 steps. Kind of watching the NHL guys like Mackin, and you see the 3 steps are quick. So you got to always do that. It's really important.
Last one for me. What do you change between now and main camp?
I don't think there's much to change. I still want to be focused and give my everything on the ice. So, yeah, I'm going to do that in the main camp, and I have to be way better in the main camp as well.
You talked about the adjustment the first year in the AHL last year, calling mom and learning how to cook some things on your own. Have there been any recipes that you've really perfected since then?
I got to say I was pretty lazy in the summer, so I didn't get my mom to teach me much. I was enjoying the break from cooking and stuff, so yeah, I kind of made it hard for her. But yeah, I think I got some better recipes, so it won't be chicken and rice or steak every day, so it should be better now, but still I can FaceTime at any time, so she can tell me what to do.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Okay. Same, buddy. I definitely FaceTime mom for the food all the time. Or you have Eric's mom cook for us, which is also very nice most of the time.
You'll hear about that in a minute.
Oh my gosh, she makes incredible salad. I don't even know, what do we call that salad?
Goodness.
It's goodness, yeah. Let's
Excellence.
Put excellence in a salad. And speaking of excellence, let's talk about all the cool stuff that DNVR does, the interactions. There are so many amazing things about DNVR, and you got to really take advantage of all of them. Being a diehard is for sure one of them.
Absolutely.
I mean, just all of the extra content and stuff that you get. And I can tell you something right now on this beat particularly, and I know all the other ones do such a great job at DNVR, but we're going to have so many cool little feature things coming up this year that revolve around hockey. And you're going to get incredible access to the Avalanche. But on top of that, you're going to get incredible access to the rest of the NHL. You're going to get a really well-rounded perspective on this season. And your picture on the Avs will be even clearer because you're going to get that other side of it and understand what that look is, too. Tell me about more of our stuff, too, because we do a ton of watch parties. We do takeovers. I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be cool with you. Even though I'm going to be working, I'm going to pop down and say hi.
And people who know me know I hate talking up my own stuff. I'm not that type of person.
Yeah.
But I really, really think people are going to be blown away by some of the stuff we have this year. This show, in 10 minutes, we're going to show you guys some amazing interviews, and those are going to be staples over the next couple of days.
Exclusives.
Yeah, exclusives.
Exclusives.
And as you mentioned, some of our events are takeovers. Eric has some plans in the works. I don't want to name any names, but expect some former NHL hockey players to watch a game with. We'll put it to you that way. It's going to be a great time this whole season. Of course, at the bar, we always have watch parties, things like that, too. So the DNVR diehard thing, yes, it gives you access to some of our exclusive content, but really, at the end of the day, it's just a way to help support us. If you like our show, if you enjoy what we do and all of the content we have coming your way, diehard's the way to go.
Hey, Rudo, when you're at the DNVR bar on Colfax, do you partake?
Yes.
What do you potentially drink at the DNVR bar?
Well, I heard of this little company called Breckenridge Brewery. It's a small little place.
Okay.
It only has its beer in all 50 states.
Okay.
That's all. Nothing crazy.
All 50 states. I think you had a couple last night.
I might have had a few last night. They're the official craft beer of DNVR. You can get them at our bar, of course, or wherever you might be. It's a great beer to sit back and relax with. I get the Avalanche Amber Ale. Gotta be repping. You know how it is. But there's a beer made for everyone by them. They have dozens of flavors, including rotating seasonals. If you're a Colorado person, you know about Palisade Peaches. They've got a Palisade Peach beer.
It is good.
It's good. You got to check them out. Go to breckbrew.com. Use their Breck Beer Locator online to find it near you today and get yourself the craft beer of DNVR.
When I played hockey, I was good at passing the puck. I feel like I threaded that one really good over there.
It was nice. Nicely done.
It was
Little
a good.
sauce on
I did
it,
sauce
And
that
guess
thing.
what? Guess what I was?
What? Yeah,
I
you-
was the decoy going to
Yeah.
nothing to do with the play.
Here, Peg, give it to me, Gizmo. Gizzy. Move the puck, Giz.
I was the dummy that
I'm
didn't get
open.
any recognition on the sheet.
You got a plus.
Oh, thank you.
Oh,
we don't
you're
like
right.
plus
No,
minus.
that's right. Oh, I forgot. I got yelled about that the other day. We got to talk about AJ and I are going to have a conversation about that when we're in the same room next week. I don't understand. I was a big plus minus guy, but whatever. It's fine.
Can't be a plus minus.
Fine.
We're going to break you.
We'll talk. You're going to have to talk me through it.
I must break you.
I must break you. Just to put the final point on the game here, and then I want to hear from Sheiks real quick. Do you just slough this off? Is this a leave it as soon as it leaves the rink?
Yes, it's a rookie game.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I genuinely wonder how many of these guys Aaron Schneekloth is considering actually will be playing for him this year. Because even some of the guys who's like, oh, I'd like to have him, well, they might be playing for the Avs, not the Eagles. So
Yeah.
I don't know that there's a ton you can take out of it, to be honest.
But the good thing is, you know what? For a coach, it's to get your your skills on the bench and your flow of getting, after summer, you just got to get, thinking quickly. That's what it's for. At the end of the day, yeah, you don't spend time, but you care about the kids. You want them to get better. You want them to have a good experience. Now, next week, they'll have a different experience. Most of them should be at camp and all that stuff. So I think you just spend a little bit of time, a little bit of video with them, but you're not overly concerned with, the outcome of the score.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, it's a tough one. It's a 5-1 loss, but let's catch up with Sheik. By the way, he's incredibly personal. I really, truthfully enjoy getting a chance to talk with him. I've looked forward to it. After I looked yesterday was my first time getting to chat with him, and then after today, I really looked forward to talking to him. And I'm looking forward to talking to him again on Monday. He's very insightful, and I think he is a guy that will find a job in the NHL
good hockey
shortly.
player. He was a good hockey player.
Yeah, I mean, I'm super impressed with Schneeks. Let's hear what he had to say following the 5-1 loss.
All right, what are some challenges in trying to unify a group of players that all haven't played together in such a short amount of time in a tournament like this?
Yeah, I mean, you just try to give them as much information as possible, and they've all played at a high level, and it's up to them to calculate all the information we give them and try to execute and create some chemistry as quickly as possible. Obviously a little bit of rest for some of the guys that were inserted today. See some good, see some bad. That's part of the process this early in the season. So some good showings and some good learning lessons for some guys.
You guys have a day off tomorrow, a little chance to have some fun. I know you guys got a team building exercise sort of planned out. Even though not all these guys are going to be playing together when you move into the regular season, there's still some advantages for the team, the Eagles team up north, for you guys. So what do you kind of try to make tomorrow about?
Well, I mean, obviously, these guys are representing the Avalanche organization right now. They're part of this team. We have an opportunity to be together, and we want to make it a valuable experience for them, not only on the ice, but what we can do together off the ice. Shows what kind of organization this is and what kind of players we want to be a part of it.
Wilsey described Matt Steinberg's game as a little bit physically gritty. He drops the gloves today. Do you see that as a player an extension of his leadership role and trying to inject some life back into this group?
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously, we know Matt very well last year. He's a guy that he's going to need to play that way to have success. He's a guy that finishes his checks hard, goes to the net. In terms of that fight, he's at the net, he's battling with the D-man, stick comes up, he doesn't like it. Shows the team he's going to stand up for himself and try to give us some life.
For me, I thought Pavel as well as Poland played again well today. They were good on both sides of the puck. What did you see from them, from not only the way they played, but from that leadership standpoint also?
Yeah, I thought Pavel was one. He was strong in the circle, had some authority in there, and then he's a worker. He's a workhorse. He hounds pucks. He finishes his checks. I thought he was pretty good on the penalty kill again today, and then I thought Poland followed it up with another solid performance. Structurally very strong in his details. He's around the net, hit the crossbar early, rewarded on the power play. So he's in the areas that we want him to be in to create some offense. Surprised a couple guys with some counter hits. That's his game. So it's good to see him get those offensive opportunities and get rewarded. It's only going to build his confidence.
It seemed like generating production was a little bit of a challenge today. Can you tell me what you were seeing from your view?
Yeah, it's tough to score. That's one of the lessons these guys are learning. Making sure that you get through guys and inside guys and create that positioning as soon as possible, because once you don't have it, it's tough to get it. I thought, especially early on, I thought we did a really good job with possession in the offensive zone. Forwards were moving and slashing through the good spots, and Seattle did a good job of taking away our shooting lanes, and they had a lot of blocks that kind of nullified our offensive zone. But just being at the net, you got to be ready to consistently battle for those opportunities and those loose pucks, and we just came up a little bit short today, I thought.
Team does have a fun day planned tomorrow. They're going to relax. They're going to practice in the morning, and then they're heading over to SoFi, getting a little tour of the stadium, doing some team building stuff.
I'd rather just play another hockey game, if I'm honest.
You're going to hear me say this a lot, and I really hope nobody gets irritated with me over the course of the season, because it's going to be a common theme and a thread that I wind through everything that I do, because it is incredibly important to me. And I'm going to, it's the hill I will eventually die on, but the brotherhood and family that is hockey, any level, is just absolutely incredible. It's a brotherhood, it's a bond, it's a friendship. It truly is a family. I'm Italian. Family is not just blood. If you're a close friend of mine, you're my family. I've known Rudo and Tiff for just a little while. Family, call me, I'll come running. Same thing, him, his kids. The cool thing about hockey is that it exists everywhere. And my favorite thing about this past few days has been wandering around, just getting to hang out with the guys and catching up with some of our close friends. And we have so many mutual friends together. And just their willingness to want to be like, yeah, let's go talk. And probably no cooler of a guest that we're about to bring on. And just what a great guy. Rob Blake, 2001 Stanley Cup champion. Yeah. Just an overall incredible human, the current general manager of the Los Angeles Kings. And we've been catching up with him for the last few days, and it's just it's a ton of fun.
Heart of gold, great person. Man, I don't want to get emotional, but you're talking about just quality people.
Crafted you.
What's that?
Crafted you.
Oh. Yeah. Quality people. And I tell you, what a hockey player he was. And I knew it, like, when I was playing with him here, and I kept telling people, this guy's going to win the Norris one day, and he sure did. You know what I mean? Like, he put his mind to it and really got into fine-tune with the training, and, you know what I mean? Like, he really took a different turn, and all of a sudden, because he's so not he doesn't like to talk about himself. He doesn't like to show off. He's just a good human being, and oh boy. If he got a hold of you with that big butt of his, he's a big farmer.
Oh, man, what a hip check. What a hip check.
Heart of gold, but butt of steel.
Butt of steel. And he learned that from Larry Robinson, right? Larry Robinson had bad shoulders back then, and then he was always doing the hip check. And then Blakey was like, oh, yeah, my shoulders. But he had a bad shoulder early in his career. And then same thing, started hip checking guys. Like, oh, my Lord. Like, he
the open
I talked to one of his
ones.
Staff members yesterday.
Oh, gosh.
One of his staff members was saying, he's like, yeah, you're right, you're a great guy, but when he gets mad, you can see in his eyes, and it's like, that's how he played. He got mad, and all of a sudden he was going, and you're like, holy crow, the train is coming. You know what I mean? He's awesome. What an unbelievable hockey player, better human being. And you know what? One of 32 that has a chair in the National Hockey League as a general manager. As much as he was in Colorado Avalanche and a cup winner, and he loved his years in Denver with his kids and his wife. And I tell you one thing, LA Kings is home. LA Kings is his team when you think about it, and then he's just fitting that he is the general manager of this franchise. So awesome to see and awesome to catch up.
We did catch up with Rob Blake. This is a DNVR Avs exclusive interview with the man who won a cup in 2001 with the Avalanche. All right, the DNVR Avs podcast brings in a special guest. Avs fans, of course, know him, and I'm not just talking about Eric Lacroix, but these two are very good friends. Rob Blake, obviously former Colorado Avalanche, current general manager for Los Angeles Kings. We are here in your home right now, by the way. Thank you for the hospitality. But, man, tell me just let's start with this rookie face-off. What does it mean for teams, for general managers? I mean, you're looking, but what are you really looking for out of these guys, Blake?
Yeah, there's a few prospects that you'll obviously key on, and you want to see first foremost when they're first drafted. Okay, how are they going to react?
Yep.
And we've got a first and second rounder from last year's draft here, so they're bright-eyed and into it. But you also look at the progression. We've had a couple draft picks now into the third year, and you watch their progression against their peers. So basically that's what it is. You get a little bit more time with them through the summertime here. So you look at some different things.
Yeah, checking boxes.
Yeah, I mean, it's great to be back. It's great to see when we were playing, like guys like Peter Miller, our equipment guys and all that kind of stuff. So I love coming back here. And,
it's the camaraderie of hockey. It's camaraderie.
Yes, I got to ask you a question, though. Well, I got two questions, but I'll start with the first one is, what is wrong with that 2001 team that you guys won with? Because we always talk about Avalanche 1.0, which you were part of. Then you got Chris Drury, your former roommate. You got yourself. We'll keep Joe Sakic as a GM right now, not as a president. You got 3 guys right now. There's 32 guys in the NHL that have that job in the world, and then you got 3 guys from that team. Like, what was in the water there that time?
Well, Patty's coaching, and, in the league. That's a special group, obviously, and I think. Your dad, what he's able to put together, but I think all of us learned so many things different there. So we go our different paths after that, but a lot of us stay in hockey, and we can bring a lot of those elements that we were taught and learned with the time with the Avs.
I think that's the special thing. We talk about this all the time about hockey. I obviously never played in the NHL, but I've been around it long enough and know enough guys. We all know a lot of the same people. You find the right ones, the special ones, and I think those, when you look at a team like you guys, when you guys won the Cup, and then obviously the runs that the Kings had in 12 and 14, special guys, special groups, and you got a couple great players, athletically, but then you have the personalities in the gel, and that's kind of, is that what you're looking for when you're putting a team together? Obviously, you want skill and talent, but you're looking at a million other factors.
Well, there's so much to going into a team, and we talked once on when you mentioned Joe's name, and you talk about the Kings in 12 and 14. We'll go right to our captain and Anze Kopitar. There are so many similarities. When I'm around both of them, so I'm around Joe when he played, and I'm around Kopi when he played, but also now as I'm older here. But just the similarities in the way the professionalisms they bring every day, and so when you can start your foundation with players like that, then the guys that come into the locker room, the ones you bring from other teams, and that they have to follow suit. Yeah. So we're fortunate to have special players like that.
Set the tone.
Yeah, and I know you enjoyed your years in Denver, and then our audience always wants to know about guys like yourself. What was it like to be in Denver in those awesome years? And now they have awesome years, as you know, with McKinnon, Makar, and all that stuff. We call that Avalanche 2.0. But I know your family enjoyed it very much, and tell us a little bit where the kids are at, and obviously they were in Denver for so many years, so they I'm sure Denver is a special place for them.
Well, I remember though when I was in LA before going to Denver, and we'd go in there near the end of the season, and we'd have to play the Avalanche, and you'd see their roster: Forsberg, Sakic, Bork at that time, Foote, and Drury, Hayduk, and so we'd be sitting there watching. So and then to get involved in it, but also at that time in my career, it was a little bit later in the career, but married, settled down, and started to have kids, and Denver is a special place in that aspect. Having the kids around the rink, Bob Hartley right on through the coaches, Joel and Tony there. Everybody always had kids around the rink, and made it a real nice family atmosphere in that aspect.
If you had to pick a moment from your time with the Avs, and I'm sure you have a ton of them, and it may be an off the wall one, but what is a defining memory for you that kind of pops up now and then, or puts a smile on your face, or just sort of brings something back for you?
Yeah, I mean the one player that I think had that. I guess that relationship with many players was Ray Bourque. And for me to come in, watching him go through his Boston days, went to Colorado, had some success in the playoffs that first year, then I joined him after that. But when you're around him or Patrick or Joe or Peter or these guys, they just have lasting impressions. So we stay in touch, but we really don't on a day-to-day basis. But with the hockey world, we'll go into Boston and we'll run into Ray, and you're automatically back to sitting on the plane or after a game, sitting around talking. That's the feeling these guys bring you.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, listen, hockey legend in Denver, Hall of Fame career, but more importantly, and trust me, I mean it, like Hall of Fame person right there. And thanks for joining us. It's always a pleasure to be around you. And again, like you said, thanks for the hospitality this weekend. It's been awesome.
Well, we used to have deliveries from your parents. Remember when we lived together? Was it once a month? Yes.
Yeah, my favorite muffin.
I don't know. Like I don't think I'd allow the players to have those. They were filled with cream, something, right?
Well, remember that? Yeah, that's my favorite muffin.
But every once in a while, once a month, there would be a package delivered to our house.
The generosity of the Lacroix. Coco's been cooking. I've had a couple Coco meals in the last few weeks.
That and then the hot rock, cooking on the hot rock.
Oh yeah, the raclette.
Yeah,
buddy. Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, a couple staples from the Lacroix. We spent our time together.
My favorite part about hockey is the bond and the family and the camaraderie, and it's fun seeing you two together all the time. I mean, I knew you separately, and then obviously together, and we have a lot of the same friends, and it's cool. I always love it when you two are together because the laughs and the stories, and you both end up getting these big grins on your faces, and it means a lot. So
well, we had good times. It was good ages too. Around here,
Yeah.
I always tell people, just to finish it off, I always tell people, like, I didn't know anyone. I got traded here, and there was the lockout, and I came in here, and Barry Melrose picked me up at the airport, and then I went to my first practice, and then after the practice, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where to go, and then he's looking at me, what are you doing? I'm like, I don't know. You tell me. Like, where do I go? Which hotel do I go to? No, you're going to Blakey's house. And I'm like, I am? And I go see Blakey, and I'm like, I'm going to your house. He goes, you are? All right. Well, why not? Get in the car. And I was like, all right, that's great. That's the type of person he is. So.
I love it. Well, thanks for turning him into such a great guy, and for all that you do for hockey, and congratulations on all the success, and good luck with the upcoming season as well.
All right, guys.
Rob Blake, absolute legend of a guy, legend of a hockey person, and bigger so, legend of a human. Love that. Love getting to catch up with him. He's a favorite around here, too. I think he's probably one of the most beloved GMs by his players, too, in the league.
Heart of gold.
Mm-hmm.
That Hall of Famer? Are you
No,
kidding me?
Heart of gold. And what did I say about his butt?
Blood of
steel.
He's the best. He's the best.
Guys like that are
Yeah.
just built different, right?
They are.
You see those guys that spend their entire lives around hockey, and the guy we're about to talk to as well spent his entire life around hockey, but a little bit different than a Rob Blake.
Well, we don't have just one exclusive for you today. We have two exclusives for you today, and this one instrumental in keeping Drouin in a Colorado Avalanche jersey. His agent, Allan Walsh, friend of the show, friend of ours, also stopped by, and we got a chance to talk to him about a bunch of different topics. Have a look.
We're back with another interview, this time Allan Walsh, NHL super agent. I think that's a fair call for you. Certainly a number of players at this event with the Avs organization. How's the rookie face-off going so far for you?
So far, so good. It's wonderful having it in my town, so I don't have to get on a plane. I just have to navigate the 405 freeway.
Well, that can be worse than a plane sometimes. I'm not going to bury the lead here. Jonathan Drouin signs back in Colorado again this offseason, your client. Maybe takes a little bit of a pay cut. How did you guys end up with that decision?
Well, it really wasn't a consideration of money.
Sure.
It was, there is no better place for him to be. The fit within the team, his relationship with Nate, the respect he has for the coaching staff. I think there was a very brief adjustment period at the beginning of the season last year, and then everything kind of just fit into place. He got really comfortable and just started going and confident, and people were pushing him. The guys in the room were wonderful to him. The coaches really worked with him well, and unfortunately there was the injury at the end of the year, and he missed good part of the playoffs. But when it came time to evaluating the year and making decisions going forward, could he have had more money somewhere else? Everyone knows he could. Could he have had more term somewhere else? Everyone knows he could. He had a 60-point season in the NHL while still in his 20s. And I think he dispelled a lot of the noise that was going on around him, and people saw the kind of hockey player he could be. But when it comes to evaluating, and making decisions about where to go going forward, whether you want to stay in Colorado or do you want to move on and go somewhere else for more money or term, I always have a saying with players, and that's don't mess with happy. And when you find that perfect fit, at the end of the day, if he's having another great season, things are going to work out with Colorado longer term. It just will. But to make a decision this summer to go chase, a little bit more money and more term somewhere else, that's just not the right way to go.
I'll come clean. We had a conversation yesterday. I want to tell the audience, our followers, that we did. I'll be honest. And obviously everyone knows that my dad was an agent before, and we talked about that. And
not just an agent, a legendary agent.
Thank you very much.
One of the agents that I aspired to be when I got into this business.
That's awesome. That means a lot. And when I saw you yesterday, when I saw Allan yesterday, I went directly to him because for me, the signing of Jo Drouin by you, because it's your client, right? And of course, you guys are a team. I thought it was one of the great stories the last 5, 6, 7 years in the National Hockey League because you know your client, you know what he had been through before getting to Denver, and everyone kept saying, Jo Drouin's not going to be back. We're going to lose Jo Drouin. Now we have Landy and Val, and Jo Drouin's gone. And I remember I told you, I said, you know what? Allan Walsh, what he does, cares for his clients first and foremost, and that's the one thing that I admire about you is you went out there and together you made a decision that was important for the person first and foremost. So I just want to say it publicly. I thought it was awesome because I think it's very important. Like you said, my dad was very for the people, and like you were on that deal. And I thought, again, I mean it. I feel it was the deal of the summer. I'm not being biased because you're here. I thought it was one of the great stories, and it went a little bit underrated because, quite frankly, he's out of the limelights of the Canadian cities. And, not that Denver's not a media market, but it's so different. And I remember looking at him last year, telling him, welcome to Denver. He was excited to go to the grocery store and be at peace. You know your client. You can tell that he was happy, and then the whole season, his face, you could see it in his face. He was happy to be in Denver.
There's no question about it. It was like a huge weight was lifted off his shoulders and a breath of fresh air to be able to go to the rink every day and just play. And people got to see, some of the Drouin magic that he has when he's out on the ice, on the power play, and doing all the things that he does. And I think one of the things that surprised so many people was his 200-foot game.
Oh.
And people didn't know that he was anything more than a one-dimensional offensive threat. But when they saw the way he played defense and the way he forechecked and the way he backchecked, I think it opened a lot of people's eyes.
You also represent Ivan playing for the Avalanche here. Can you kind of walk us through the process a little bit for someone like that who's trying to earn a contract at events like this, and Ivan, a success story in that regard?
Yeah, so he went into Detroit's camp a couple years ago on an ATO amateur tryout agreement and showed really well. And the way they were talking, it sounded like they had interest in signing him, and it just didn't materialize. He goes back to junior as an overage and had a great season. At the end of the year, Colorado had reached out and offered an American League contract along with an invitation to training camp. And, I mean, you guys were here last year. You saw what he did in the big camp. He was playing preseason games with the big team, which is kind of rare for a guy on an American League contract, and really opened a lot of people's eyes. And I had heard that the coaching staff were really high on him, and he goes to the American League with a lot of potential, and he had earned a lot of equity with people in the organization, and just has a fantastic rookie season. So I wasn't surprised in March when Colorado called. They could start looking to sign him March 1, and really just a couple of days after March 1, they were calling and saying we want to get him done.
Yeah, I'll give credit to Rudo and our partner AJ. Like I said to you, since day one, they called him Shakespeare, and they were so excited that Joe was a part of the Avalanche. And Ivan has been, like you just said, he's been a very popular guy in the chat with us, and people want to know more about him, not because he's got the greatest name in hockey, but also because of what he's done, like you said, with his platform. And again, all I wanted to say, and I mean it, I think you gained a lot of respect, as a person in Denver, with the work you did with Jonathan, and I think that Jonathan earned a lot of accolades, and I think it was important for him, not because you want that, just because where he was at, and I think I just call it a great success story, and I couldn't be happier, and I couldn't be happier to be wrong about a signing, you know what I mean, and it's worked out great. So I just wanted to tell you that thank you very much for what you did for the person.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I had one more a little bit off the wall question for you, and we'll let you out of here. Vegas, over the last handful of years, has done some, let's call it cap circumvention tactics. From your side as an agent, as someone who ultimately your job is to get players paid, do you have an opinion on that? A lot of fans aren't a big fan of the LTR cap circumvention thing, but hey, it's more money spent on players, right?
Well, I'm not going to comment directly on what Vegas, did or didn't do.
For the record, completely within the legal realm of the NHL.
Yes. There is a ongoing debate. I have heard on the NHL side, certainly not on the NHLPA side or the agent side, but there is an ongoing debate on the NHL side as to whether they're going to seek any changes to LTIR and the way that it's applied during the regular season and not applied during the playoffs. I don't know how that's going to turn out. We're just a year away from probably the beginning of collective bargaining on a new CBA, and I think there's a lot of issues on the table that need to be addressed. With the impending opening up of the NCAA to CHL players, there's a whole host of CBA articles that are going to need to be rewritten with regard to player rights and how they're retained after players are drafted, both on the NCAA side and the CHL side. I mean, it's enough to make your, boggle your mind. So there's a lot of things that are going to have to be addressed as we go forward, and LTIR may well be one of the things that everybody's going to look at.
We'll see in a couple of years with that new CBA. Thank you so much for coming on.
You got it. It's my pleasure. Anytime. Yeah.
You're the best. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Eric.
Another DNVR Avs exclusive, Allan Walsh. Awesome to have him on the show. Thank you so much for tuning in today. What a great show. It was awesome talking to him.
Yeah, look, agents are their own world in the hockey universe. It's incredible the amount of, for someone like Walsh, he's got so many clients that you could talk about any team in the league and be like, oh yeah, this guy. It's crazy.
That's awesome. I remember him. And again, I love these guys that stand up for their guys, and he definitely stood up for Marc-Andre Fleury a few years ago too. The sword in the back.
It's just great. It's great to have guys like that. It's great to have guys from around the league just give us the time of day and help us bring content to DNVR Avalanche and all our people out there listening. So it's been fun.
Spoiler alert, but those two aren't the only ones.
Oh, there's more, but we didn't have time today, but that's all right. We've got more for you. Of course, stay with us over the next couple of days. We remain in Los Angeles for the end of the Ricky Faceoff. The Avs are off tomorrow. We'll have some content out there for you, so make sure you're following us on Twitter. Make sure you're liking. Make sure you're subscribing. All those things help us big time, and we got so much cool stuff coming for you. If you're not a diehard yet, make sure you sign up for that. I will have a Studs and Duds up very shortly. Rudo's pumping out some content. He's going back to work, and we're going to say so long because this one just flew by. But from all of us, we can't thank you enough. Kale is doing an epic job shooting and filming for us. Tiff, great job producing today. Rudo, thank you so much. Great job. Big thanks to our guests today. Allan Walsh, instrumental in keeping Jonathan Drouin in a Avalanche jersey, and friend of the show, friend of ours, Mr. Rob Blake, Hall of Famer, Stanley Cup champion. Great show. Thanks for watching. We'll see you later.
We all silly like the mayor.